going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix, and today I'm going through the longest AFK methods in 2026. Jagex recently increased the AFK limit to up to 30 minutes at a time, meaning any of the methods that relied on the logout timer have been improved, and Jagex has slowly added more 30-minute AFK methods. And I'll show all of those in this video, with new ones like infected roots, Stranglewood fishing, and more. I'm going from the most AFK to the least, but every method in this video will let you go away from your computer for at least a few minutes. With sailing, you can set up 2 crewmates to salvage on your ship, and with a big enough cargo hold, it's possible to AFK for 30 minutes at a time. While the XP rates are pretty low, it is the most relaxed and AFK way to train your sailing, maxing out at nearly 40k XP an hour. Jagex did nerf this method by around 30% a few weeks after sailing's release, although it's still decent considering you can now AFK for 30 minutes at a time. With the release of the new delve boss Doom, Jagex introduced a 30-minute AFK woodcutting method, infected roots. While chopping these roots, you get demon tears, and these are used to upgrade the Avernic treads to charge the Eye of Ayak, or to create the confliction gauntlets. Normally, you can AFK at infected roots for around 20 minutes at a time, but if you use an infernal axe and a log basket, you can easily AFK for 30 minutes. For the full logout timer. With that, you can expect to get only 9k woodcutting XP per hour, which is obviously pretty slow, and much better AFK methods exist for woodcutting, like redwoods and rosewood trees. The one upside to infected roots is the potential profit you can make. You make around 200k an hour in demon tears, and if you were to go from level 98 to 99 woodcutting here, you'd profit 27 mil. Fairly recently, we received a new 30-minute AFK fishing method known as Stranglewood fishing. When you unlock this method, you can AFK for up to 30 minutes at a time, but with a higher fishing level, your inventory fills after about 20 minutes. Overall, you get 750 fishing XP per hour here, which is horrendous, but you can get yourself a 1 in 660 drop of a loop half of moon key, or there's even a 1 in 500,000 chance of getting a chromium ingot, which is one of, if not the most valuable thing you can get from a fishing spot. And the final 30-minute AFK method is using the blast furnace pump, and this one is commonly used to train.
What the heck is a chromium ingot for? And why is it expensive? Is it because it's rare? Does anybody know what that thing is? It's for one of the Abyss rings, the Desert Treasure 2 stuff.
Impures, where it gives strength XP without any hit points. On World 302, there's always someone shoveling coal to keep this method going, which means with just one click, you can AFK for 30 minutes. Overall, you get 12k strength XP per hour, which is not great, but it is the best method that doesn't give hit points. Now, a method that used to have a super long AFK interval was Duke mining, where mining the salt deposits could let you AFK until you logged out. The new AFK time here is 5 minutes, and overall you get about 10k mining XP per hour. So that's 12 clicks an hour for 10k mining XP, which isn't too bad, but there are better methods out there. Now, within the blast furnace, there's another method where it's possible to AFK for 5 or more minutes at a time, and that's using the pedals for agility XP. Pedaling lowers your run energy, so with an extended stamina potion and a ring of endurance, the maximum time you can AFK for is 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Overall, this gives 6k agility XP per hour, which is very slow, and I really wouldn't recommend doing this method. But there is an even more AFK agility training method out there, and that is AFK player-owned house agility. This is where you maintain the aggression of a Tsar Ranger in your house's dungeon, and you constantly run through floor traps automatically, gaining agility XP. This method lets you AFK for 5 to 10 minutes at a time, but only if you have a low agility level. At higher levels, you'll make it all the way through the obstacles, and you don't get sent back to the start, which stops the method from working. Overall, you get 1k to 10k agility XP per hour depending on your level, and that's pretty slow, and I really wouldn't recommend this method above level 50. And next, I'm excited to announce that the new old school mousepad is now available on theoatrix.shop. It's a very nostalgic scene of Tim and Crunchy with an old school twist. It was drawn by the incredibly talented artist named Runecrafted, and he has a range of designs in stock on my merch store. With this video, you can use the coupon code AFK to get 10% off. So far in this video, I've mostly spoken about skilling methods, but combat is arguably the best AFK activity in the game, mainly because resetting the AFK is much easier. See, at places like Splashing, Bandits, and the Nightmare Zone, you just have to wiggle your mouse and you reset the AFK. Bandits in particular are my favorite for melee combat training, where you can log in and out freely and you don't take much damage with Justicea or Guthans. I got 200 mil defense XP at Bandits, and I just had to wiggle my mouse every 20 minutes. And 20 minutes is the longest you can AFK any combat method, where your character automatically stops attacking after 20 minutes of no activity. Some players do prefer to go to the Nightmare Zone for AFK training, and I do agree that the XP rates can be higher here due to the power-ups and overloads, except it's not quite as AFK friendly as Bandits. If you AFK for too long at the Nightmare Zone, you end up outside and you have to re-enter a dream. Whereas with Bandits, if you log out, you can log in again and you're instantly back in combat. Although splashing is probably the most AFK combat method in the game. Resetting is literally just wiggling the mouse, and you don't need to watch your health, your food, you don't need to watch your prayer or anything like that. For the highest XP rates, you should aim to get the harmonized Nightmare Staff, and this attacks one tick faster than the other staffs. And to supercharge your splashing, you can splash on Kraken while it's underwater, and this gives the full amount of magic XP for what you would have hit. This requires a Kraken Slayer task, so you do need 87 Slayer, but in my opinion, splashing on Kraken is the best AFK magic method in the game. Speaking of combat, the Slayer skill has quite a few long AFK methods, where there's 4 main ways to AFK your Slayer. The most AFK is fighting an aggressive monster on a task, where they stay aggressive for 10 minutes at a time. Then you just run out of view to reset the aggression. There's also goading potions, mixed with prayer regeneration potions, and this allows you to AFK for 6 minutes on any Slayer task. Or there's using your cannon, which can let you AFK for around 3 minutes, but sometimes
if you use goading potions, you can turn your Slayer tasks, a lot of Slayer tasks, into AFK. You just pray as long as you have prayer.
Times longer if you have the combat achievements completed. And lastly, probably the least AFK way to train Slayer, but it's still AFK, is where you attack multiple monsters in a multi-combat area. Then you let your character defeat them slowly while you AFK. In terms of the longest AFK times for viable skilling methods, shooting stars is one of the first things that comes to mind, where you can AFK for 7 minutes per star tier. It's possible to get around 30k mining XP per hour at high levels, but Jagex has introduced some new updates and changes that make some of the other AFK mining methods better than shooting stars, like the introduction of calcified rocks, that's an AFK method with higher XP rates, and Jagex also altered the Motherlode mine. Now, fishing is usually a pretty AFK skill, but there's a few ways to make it even more AFK, and in particular, I'm talking about using fish.
The other 2 mining methods, well, I was told they were way less AFK. Like the calcified rocks, I would have preferred to do that, but would have been way more clicks.
Fishing spots that don't move. This means you can just click them once and your inventory will fill completely without needing to click another fishing spot. The most AFK no moving fishing spot is fishing for rainbow fish near Privdinis. Here you can AFK for up to 5 minutes and sometimes even longer if you have a low fishing level. Although I wouldn't recommend training at rainbow fish, but it could be considered a bit of a moneymaker. At this same spot though, you can AFK fish for trout and salmon, with 2 to 3 minute AFK intervals and decent XP rates. The spot that doesn't move is slightly south of Prifdinus, and you don't need to complete or even start the Song of the Elves quest. You just need to start Regicide. But if you want more XP per click while still getting decent XP rates, I would personally recommend fishing for cave eels. There's a spot near Dorgesh Khan that never moves, and since eels give more XP than trout and salmon, you'll get more XP per inventory. To fish here, you need to complete the Death to the Dorgeshan quest. And of course, fishing for Karambwans with a fish barrel is another super AFK method, with 3-minute AFK intervals, particularly great for Iron Man. And when I think of the longest AFK methods, there's one more thing that comes to mind, and that is woodcutting. Both redwood and rosewood trees deplete after 4.5 minutes of cutting, which is a very long AFK time, and they both provide decent XP rates.
Is there anything in woodcutting that gives power-ups that I would need for Grandmaster? Because I could AFK woodcutting, but... Oh, the achievement diary is something I'm going to have to get. Maybe we'll do it for that. I think I need 90 woodcutting or something. You basically need base 90s and a lot of stuff for the achievement diary. So eventually we'll have to get it for that.
Rates. Magic trees and the new ironwood trees are another excellent option, both with a 4-minute chop time. In the first place, you do need at least 79 sailing to chop the new trees. You can plant the trees into a farming patch to chop them, but those trees work differently, where they have a 1 in 8 chance of being cut down instead of being on a 4.5-minute timer. Anyways, those were the longest AFK methods in 2026. If you learned something today, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my second channel for more old.
Yeah, that was dope. I'm glad you made that video because I've been kind of contemplating what I was going to do if we ever do an OnlyFans run later this year. And I'm going to need a lot of more stuff to AFK. I was going to do mining, but I actually already AFK'd all my mining. So now I need something else. So I'm probably leaning towards salvaging and then woodcutting for AFK at this moment, because I need a ton of sailing levels, and then I need to do fishing, but there's not a lot of good AFK fishing methods besides Karambwans, and you have to do a lot of movement. And then I don't know what level before I could get anglers. Whoa, which one is it? Harpoon, big net, small net, rod. Oh, rod. Okay, 82 for anglers. That's actually lower than I thought it was going to be. And then 91 for marlins.